Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Chung Nguyen, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Strategic vision in restructuring local military organization. Vietnamese Deputy Foreign Minister and U.S. Ambassador join cluster bomb disposal in Quảng Trị. Gia Lai elevates Vietnamese coffee on the world map. On April the 2nd in Hanoi, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, Secretary of the Central Military Commission, chaired the 13th meeting of the Central Military Commission to review and provide guidance on a proposal to streamline and strengthen self-defense force to meet new mission requirements. The meeting was attended by President Lương Cường, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, and was moderated by Minister of National Defense General Phan Văn Giang. In line with resolutions and conclusions of the Party Central Committee and the Politburo on streamlining the political system and restructuring administrative units at all levels, the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense developed a proposal focused on building self-defense force that are streamlined, organized, and strong. The plan considers administrative changes such as the reduction of provincial and communal units and the removal of district-level structures. General Phan Văn Giang directly oversaw the drafting process, and the Central Military Commission has convened several rounds of consultation. The proposal is grounded in real-world defense demands, the strategic direction of the party and state on defense military tasks, and draws from the country's military heritage, as well as lessons from global and regional conflicts, especially recent developments in modern warfare. In his closing remarks, General Secretary Tô Lâm affirmed that the proposal aligns with the country's military and defense strategies. He emphasized that no matter how the military structure is reconfigured, the absolute, direct, and all-around leadership of the party over the Vietnam People's Army must remain the guiding principle. He stressed the need to continue reorganizing self-defense units and bodyguard forces in accordance with party and state directives, ensuring that the new structure is more streamlined, organized, and stronger, and maintains its role as the backbone of the all-people national defense strategy and the People's War Doctrine. General Secretary Tô Lâm tasked the Standing Committee of the Central Military Commission with refining the proposal based on feedback and submitting it to the Politburo for final decision. On the afternoon of April the 2nd, the Ministry of National Defense held a conference to review the establishment of the graves in Vietnam of Chinese soldiers and advisors who supported Vietnam's revolutionary cause. Sing Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, chaired the conference. Chinese Ambassador and Defense Attaché to Vietnam attended the event. There are a total of 30 cemeteries with 1,460 graves being the resting places of the Chinese soldiers and advisors in 14 provinces and cities, of which 22 cemeteries need renovating and embellishing. To date, 19 out of these 22 cemeteries with 943 graves have been embellished. At the conference, the Chinese ambassador to Vietnam expressed his sincere thanks to the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, relevant agencies, and localities. He affirmed that this is a meaningful and practical activity, further tightening the good friendship of the two countries amidst the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the bilateral diplomatic ties. Sing Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến requested that, in the coming time, relevant agencies and units must work closely with localities to continue verifying, collecting, and supplementing information on Chinese soldiers and experts, building up archival records, paying attention to and creating conditions for enterprises that are implementing renovation and embellishments to complete their work. As the traditional Bun Pi May of Laos is approaching, on the afternoon of the same day, a delegation of the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, led by its Deputy Minister, Sing Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, visited and extended greetings to the Lao ambassador to Vietnam and the embassy staff. On behalf of the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, Sing Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến wished the People's Revolutionary Party, the government, the military, and people of Laos, the Lao ambassador, and the embassy staff a Bun Pi Mai of joy and happiness, as well as ever-growing Lao-Vietnam friendship and solidarity. He also congratulated the People's Revolutionary Party of Laos on its 70th founding anniversary. Lao ambassador to Vietnam Kham Phao An Thạ Van said thanks to leaders of the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam, while highly appreciating the close coordination between the two militaries in cultivating the great friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation between the two countries. Also on April 2nd, Sing Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Vietnam People's Army, head of the Ministry of National Defense Subcommittee on Military Parade, chaired a conference to assign the task to and direct the coordination of the parade troops participating in the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and the National Reunification Day. As planned, the military parade troops will travel in 5 groups to the south. Agencies and units of the Ministry of National Defense are asked to work closely and carefully on the travel plan, coordinate with relevant units and localities to ensure security and safety in all situations. Sing Lieutenant General Nguyễn Văn Nghĩa asked the agencies and units to develop specific and logical plans for respective assigned tasks, carefully check the conditions of all technical equipment, closely manage the troops, and ensure safety during travel. Deputy Foreign Minister Đỗ Hùng Việt and U.S. Ambassador to Vietnam Mark Napper on April 2nd took part in the controlled detonation of a cluster bomb and visited an American MIA soldier recovery site in Quảng Province, highlighting ongoing cooperation in post-war recovery, a vital area in the Vietnam-U.S. Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. The Vietnamese Foreign Ministry delegation, led by Deputy Minister Đỗ Hùng Việt, and the U.S. Embassy delegation, led by Ambassador Mark Napper, visited an active clearance site in Huong Hoa District, operated by the Peace Trees Vietnam, a U.S.-supported organization. A recently discovered BLU-61 cluster bomb, known for its high lethality, required on-site detonation. Both Deputy Minister Đỗ Hùng Việt and Ambassador Napper jointly pressed the detonation button, marking a symbolic act of cooperation to ensure local safety. The two officials later visited a site where Vietnamese and American teams are working together to search for American MIA soldiers from the war, an effort grounded in shared humanitarian values. For the past 30 years, post-war recovery has been a cornerstone in building trust between the two countries, paving the way for the strong, comprehensive partnership they share today. Ambassador Mark Napper also reaffirmed the ongoing commitment to projects like the dioxin remediation at Bien Hoa Air Base area. A miracle has happened, and behind it were the hands and hearts of the Vietnam People's Army Rescue Force. According to our on-site reporter, at 2 p.m. April 2nd, the Vietnamese Search and Rescue Force, in coordination with those from Myanmar and Turkey, successfully rescued a young man trapped inside a Chanta hotel in Naypyidaw, Myanmar, following the devastating earthquake on March the 28th. At around noon on April the 2nd, while working at the Ottara Thiri Hospital site in Naypyidaw, the Vietnamese Search and Rescue Force received urgent news. A survivor had been located under the rubble of the A Chanta Hotel, roughly 20 kilometers away. A 6-person elite rescue unit comprising military engineers and medical staff was immediately dispatched with lightweight gear to assist the operation. Upon reaching the scene, rescuers made contact with the man who was conscious and able to speak. He confirmed he was alive but dehydrated and without food. After a quick briefing, the multinational rescue team sprang into action. When I got down to where the victim was, the floor was still solid. I used my hands to clear the debris and borrowed tools from our partners to chip through the concrete as quickly as possible. Eventually, I broke through and reached in to touch his hand. It was warm and strong. After over an hour of relentless effort, the team succeeded in freeing Hadet Moungman, a 26-year-old hotel chef. Thanks to timely support provided by the rescue unit, his condition was stable.
It was good work.
The coordination between us and the Vietnamese rescue unit was excellent. We were brave, professional, and we're truly impressed. We still can't believe we saved a life. Thank you for helping not only Turkey, but now also Myanmar. You did an amazing job. As Det Moungman was carried to the ambulance, cheers erupted from his family, the rescue crews and bystanders. The strong, steady hands of Vietnamese soldiers have once again brought life back from the rubble and hope to a shaken land.
Coming up next, major components at Long Thanh Airport near completion. Gia Lai elevates Vietnamese coffee on the world map. On April 2nd, the Long Thanh Airport Project Management Board reported significant progress across multiple major construction packages. Nearly 13,000 workers and machines are working around the clock, with several key components ahead of schedule and nearing completion.
With runway package has completed its foundation layer and is finalizing surface concrete. The installation of precision landing systems, lights, stations, and attendants is underway. The runway is expected to be ready for technical operation before April 30th. For connecting roads, Route T1 is over 90% complete, with bridges done, greenery being completed, and lighting system soon to be installed, scheduled for technical clearance by the end of April. Route T2 is 65% complete and will be opened by September. The passenger terminal has completed its underground reinforced concrete structure and is now installing steel frames, glass panels, and terminal equipment. Structural work is expected to finish by December 2025. Other key packages, including the parking areas, aircraft fuel system, and internal airport roads, are also set to be completed by the end of this year.
Gia Lai, a region known for its distinctive Vietnamese coffee, has more than 100,000 hectares of coffee, over 57,000 hectares of which are certified with international standards such as 4C, UTZ, rainforest, and organic. The coffee industry in Gia Lai is no longer focused solely on production volume, but is now aiming to conquer the global market with specialty coffee products fine Robusta. This is a strategy to enhance value and affirm the brand of Vietnamese coffee with close collaboration among businesses, a shift in farmers' mindsets, and support policies from local authorities.
The wave of specialty coffee consumption is booming worldwide, opening up a promising market segment with the value far higher than regular commercial coffee. Seizing this trend, many businesses in Gia Lai have boldly invested in modern processing technologies, establishing a closed-loop process from seed selection, cultivation to deep processing. The demand for specialty coffee in the global market is increasing every day. Recognizing this opportunity, our company is actively preparing human resources and conducting research to produce specialty coffee in the near future. From being almost absent on the specialty coffee map, Gia Lai has now made its mark by successfully introducing fine Robusta to demanding markets such as Japan, the EU, and the US. Currently, Gia Lai has established 34 production-linked chains for coffee cultivation and consumption, covering more than 43,000 hectares, involving 26 businesses and 8 cooperatives. By 2030, in addition to developing 2,340 hectares of specialty coffee, Gia Lai aims to ensure that 80% of the coffee area in the province is produced according to certified standards. Along with developing specialty coffee and coffee that meets market standards, we're also striving to attract investment to build processing facilities, increasing the rate of deep coffee processing in the region and enhancing the value of coffee products. With a synchronized strategy and the cooperation of innovative farmers, pioneering businesses, and a supportive government, Zalai Coffee will not only focus on production volume, but also establish its value and position on the world specialty coffee map.
And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at QPVN.vn. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.